Hello everyone, I'm a little up close and personal, a little closer than usual because today we're going to be talking about my skin. And this video is going to be a heart-to-heart as well as a Q&A and review. So we're going to be covering a lot of ground in this video regarding my hormonal acne. Most of you who have been watching me for years now know that I've been struggling with acne for about 3 years, and it didn't start as hormonal, it started as a reaction to waxing my face. But before we get caught up in the nitty-gritty, I did just want to go over my skincare routines with you because that is the most highly requested. So I'm going to walk you through my morning routine first, and then I'll walk you through the evening routine, which is a lot simpler. First, I wash my face. After a workout or if I've worn makeup that day, I always reach for a glycolic acid cleanser, but for the most part, I try to use stuff that's simple in the morning. Simple and gentle is the way to go. You could even use Ivory bar soap. Now, after I'm done washing my face, I always begin with eye products, and that's because of my topicals. They always sting my eyes, and sometimes I forget, and if I end up even getting close to my eyes or my neck, everything starts peeling and it's disastrous. So with clean fingertips after washing my face, I always use some kind of eye product. Now, I did get lazy for a while, and I noticed that my crow's feet were starting to creep out a little bit. That's why I rely on my Holy Grail 111 Skin Space Defense Eye Lift Gel, and this is truly the best eye gel I've ever used. It helps with puffiness, darkness. I don't wear concealer under my eyes, but this definitely does help when I am lacking sleep and you can see a bit of a shadow. I have gone through about 4 bottles of this, and I do believe it is truly the best on the market, especially if you only have fine lines as I do. But here are 2 other options that are a lot more affordable than the 111 Skin. I talked about the Tatcha Luminous Eye Serum in my January favorites video. This is a great one if you're looking for something under $100, and yes, it's expensive, but it comes with a cooling tip, and I do find that it's a lighter texture, so if you struggle to find an eye product that doesn't cause those unsightly white bumps under your eyes called milia, then this one by Tatcha is a great way to go. This Rose de Mai Eye Lift by Chantecaille does not come with a ceramic tip, but it is slightly cooling, and I like the pressure that you can use. Again, a lot of people will use their eye cream or eye gels last, but because of my acne topicals, I apply it first, even before toner actually. And recently I've been using the By Terry Cellular Rose, and I do use this with a cotton pad. Anytime you use toner, you should use a cotton pad, and my favorites are by Cogendo, and if you're looking for something a little bit more economical, then I would recommend Shiseido's. Now, this By Terry toner is probably the best rose scented toner that I've tried. It does seem to remove any excess makeup residue, which I can see on the cotton pad. It's kind of gross, but it lets you know that the toner's doing its job and prepping your skin for the next step. Now, it's really important that I use toner on days after makeup. Today, for example, I'll make exceptions and use toner at night just because I'm wearing so much makeup when I film. More than the clarifying action of the By Terry though, what I really love about the Cellular Rose toner is that it's so hydrating. It leaves my skin feeling really plump, really supple, and extremely hydrated. But if you're not a fan of cotton and you want something that you can put on with just your hands, then I recommend Tatcha's The Essence. This is also equally moisturizing, and it doesn't have as strong of a rose or floral fragrance, so if you have a sensitive nose, this one might do you better. But ultimately, they're both part of skincare prep, and it really depends on what your skin needs. Now again, just as a refresher, because I'm doing a lot of talking, I wash my face, I put on eye cream, and I use a toner in the mornings. Then I apply my morning acne topical, which is called Accutane. This is a dapsone gel, which is basically the active ingredient in this product, and I don't find this quite as effective as my nighttime treatment. I find that this is most helpful in preventing congestion and preventing breakouts from getting worse. So I don't find that it necessarily helps heal my breakouts like this hormonal one that I've been struggling with, but overall I am glad that I have it, and I do try to use it every day. Sometimes I will take a break from it, especially on days when I'm going makeup free. Now for the new favorite serum in my arsenal, this is Dr. Sturm's Calming Serum, and I recently talked about this serum on the blog, and I definitely like to apply this after my dapsone or in place place of it, when I'm super red in the face, or if I have a lot of inflammation building, or if I just simply have extra dry, extra sensitive skin, then I'll go ahead and use the calming serum. This formula does not contain very much oil. It's really light, super fast absorbing, and it still manages to really soothe my skin immediately. My morning routine is definitely a lot longer than my evening routine, but we're winding down with moisturizer, and this is my favorite from Chantecaille. This is my new holy grail moisturizer. I really like the SkinCeuticals Metacell, and that's a much more affordable alternative to this one, but I really didn't even notice when Chantecaille launched this. I just happened to be looking for an oil-free moisturizer that was very similar to this one, the Magnolia and Lily Healing Emulsion, and then I discovered this one. It gives my skin a really beautiful luminous glow, but because it's oil-free, it doesn't make my T-zone look out of control by the end of the day, so it works great under makeup. And to finish up my morning routine, I always end with sunscreen. Now, I used PCA for a long time, but I've been in love with Supergoop and their products. I use the Everyday Supergoop sunscreen because that's what my friend Sabrina of the Beauty Lookbook recommended, and I can totally see why she likes it, since you should reapply your sunscreen every 2 hours, especially if you are working on healing acne scarring, even if there's no sun outside, because the UV rays can actually be stronger when it's cloudy. But to get to the point, the product that I'm holding in my hand is the new Supergoop Invincible Setting Powder. When I use it all over my face, it kind of washes out my bronzer, so then I carry deep in my purse as well on days where I'm wearing makeup. And this is coming from someone that never used to reapply or touch up any kind of makeup. Once my makeup is on for the day, I never used to touch it unless it was to oil blot around my nose. However, now that I've become a lot more diligent about sunscreen because of my acne topicals, I also reapply at least some kind of sunscreen. It feels really plush and it makes my skin velvety soft. I highly, highly recommend it, especially because the brush is removable. You can wash it, so it's sanitary, good for those who are clean freaks. Those who are on prescription acne topicals need to be extra diligent about sunscreen because Asian skin in particular holds on to hyperpigmentation, and even for me, just my acne is so stubborn. This hormonal acne, all this hyperpigmentation and scarring that results from it, it takes forever to heal. So some of you might think, well, she just had a pimple, why is it taking so long? That's just the nature of my skin. That's why I'm also going to discuss with you why I'm not on Accutane at the end of this video, but I'm going to take a breather between my morning and evening routines to talk to you about my little peel here. This is from my dermatologist's office, and this is actually the reason why I no longer use Peter Thomas Roth's Max Complexion Correction Pads, which some of you have asked me about recently. And I love those. They smell like peach. They work so well if you just suffer from normal blackheads and your period pimples every now and then, but this is actually meant to be a replacement for a chemical peel if you can't take the downtime. Also, another thing before we move on to the evening skincare is something that I have been a lot better about, which is misting my face throughout the day. My favorite mist is by Chanel. This is the Hydra Beauty Essence. This is by far truly the best actual mist on the planet. It's so smooth. You just spray it in a Z-like motion. It hydrates my parched skin and has this really elegant, not too strong camellia floral fragrance, but I just adore this and I find it worth every penny. This is my second bottle. And then also on the flip side, I have this Amarvixa Queen of Hungary mist, and this is more like in a spray in that you kind of have to spray it quite a bit. You can't just hold on to the nozzle like with the Chanel and just kind of apply it like you would Dior Air Flashes foundation, and I think that's a pretty good comparison. Whereas this is more like a quick spray. It doesn't give you a lot of product all at once, so I use about a dozen sprays to get down my whole face and neck. You get about twice the amount of product that you would with the Amarvixa than you would with the Chanel, but I just prefer the Chanel. If you can afford to splurge on this, I highly recommend it. Now, as I promised, my evening routine is super simple. Again, I wash my face, I remove my makeup with a clean and clear makeup wipe, and then I'll go ahead and wash my face with whatever cleanser I feel like. Then I'll use my 111 Skin Eye Serum. I try to only use about half a pump for both eyes. Then I'll go ahead and move on to my acne topical, which is Epiduo Forte, and I use one full little pump. Sometimes I use it as a spot treatment, and then I'll go ahead and treat all the big pimples and breakouts first. Overall, my skin has healed to the point where I no longer need to use Epiduo Forte all over my face. This formula is 0.3% adapalene, and it has a little bit of benzoyl peroxide. It's actually 2.5%. But I'm trying to stay away from benzoyl, so once my skin is a little bit more manageable and less reactive, I want to move down to the Epiduo, which is the standard 0.1% adapalene. But in the instance that you don't want to see a dermatologist or it's not within your budget, then I highly recommend you run out to Target and pick up Difference 0.1 adapalene. My dermatologist also recommended that I apply the SkinCeuticals Metacell moisturizer prior to applying the Epiduo. Sometimes when I feel in the morning that my skin was burning, or if I felt a stinging sensation, later that evening at night, I'll go ahead and apply a serum or my moisturizer first. This is my 111 Skin Y Theorem Serum, and this is absolutely the best translucent clear gel serum for hydration, anti-aging. It is an all-in-one super serum. If you have any room in your budget to splurge, then I highly recommend you pick this up first. So sometimes I'll apply that before Epiduo, sometimes I'll apply it after. The same goes with my Chantecaille moisturizer, the same one from my morning routine, the Bio Lifting Emulsion. This is awesome because it is oil-free, and I do think it does a great job of hydrating. Again, if you use the Dapsone or the Epiduo Forte, do not drag it down your neck. Make sure that you wash your hands immediately. Don't underestimate the Epiduo. It is a really potent product, and it will make your skin peel like crazy. Now, I do want to talk to you about Accutane, about birth control, and all these other factors. So firstly, Epiduo is not an overnight miracle worker. My dermatologist told me expect 3 to 4 months. It could get worse before it gets better, and she was right. It definitely did get worse after I started using Epiduo. And I was following a very simple routine at the time. It was literally washing my face, applying moisturizer and the topical, and going to bed. Same thing in the morning. The bottom line is it has taken 5 months for my skin to reach this place, and even when I am not wearing makeup, you can still see the scarring, you can still see a lot of textural imperfections on my left cheek. I'm just glad that something is finally clicking and working, and my dermatologist recommended that I get on birth control because there are 3 formulas that are actually scientifically proven to help with acne, and my OBGYN and I sat down and we decided that Yaz would be the best fit for me. So I'm glad that I'm able to keep my skin's texture and its natural look and feel without having to resort to Accutane. My twin tried Accutane after her pregnancy because her hormonal acne was just so out of whack. Even though my dermatologist did tell me to consider Accutane as one of my options because she said that she could put me on a really low dose, my doctor and I decided that it would not be a good fit for me because my skin wasn't so bad to the point where I should risk liver damage from being on Accutane. Now, some of you might be curious, how come I wasn't willing to risk liver damage yet I would put Botox into my skin? Now, I have not had Botox in over 4 months, so all of it has left my skin and my system, so I can wrinkle my forehead again. Now that I quit CrossFit and I'm just working out normally, not lifting quite as heavy as I used to, I don't really strain my forehead quite so much, so I don't really need it anymore. But the thing about Accutane is that once it damages your liver, it's really hard for your liver to recover from that, because in turn that could bite me in the butt and not only make my skin worse, but it could affect my whole body. So I just didn't want to get stuck in the hospital and have to do all this extra blood work to get on Accutane. Plus, Accutane changes the composition of your skin, so literally it changes the DNA, and a lot of times Accutane will make your skin look thicker. I know that a lot of you have seen great results with Accutane, and I'm so happy for you. I really am. I don't have anything against it. It just personally was not the right treatment option for me, and I'm still glad that despite the fact that it took 5 months to get here, that I have made so much progress. All right, last but not least, while I can still get all the words out, I have here my Dr. Colbert MD mask, and this is one of the only masks that I have been using recently. I would love to say that yes, I use them religiously once a week, but actually it's more like once every 2 weeks when I can remember. These Illumino anti-aging brightening masks though are my absolute favorite. They're nice and thick so you can walk around, it won't slide down your face, and it actually immediately brightens your skin. So when I had my sister try this and she took the mask off after 20 minutes, I was floored. I was reminded again of how unbelievably incredible the results with this mask are. So I used to love SK2's brightening mask, but I still find that this is the best. It's the gentlest, it's non-irritating, it's so hydrating, and it just makes my skin look and feel amazing. My goodness, now that I've talked your ear off, I hope that I answered all of your questions. I pretty much tried to cover everything that I had seen asked on Instagram as well as other YouTube videos. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to leave them down below, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much for being understanding and supportive and encouraging. It means more to me than you know. I used to feel so depressed and anxious and really just embarrassed of my skin, and as my dermatologist always loves to remind me, there was nothing that I could have done. If it was as simple as eating clean, working out, washing my face after exercising or sweating, I would have had better skin by now. But it was really just my body rebelling against me and telling me, hey, you got to take a step back and take care of yourself and look at what's happening. And of course, hormones can't be controlled, but we can be mindful of our surroundings, our stress levels. And I do think that this has been a valuable, humbling experience. And so I'm still glad that I had to go through this, because at least this way I could share my experiences and product recommendations with you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this super long video. And with that being said, I truly say that's a wrap, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.